What kind of calculating, cold act did you commit? 1. My boss had a reputation for smashing keyboards and mice when he would get mad. So I bought a cheap wireless mouse and plugged the dongle into the back of his PC where no one would ever see it. I could look across the hall and kind of see when he was using the mouse, and I would just nudge the cursor enough that it would feel like there was something glitching. I got him to break another mouse that week. 2. This girl who bullied me mercilessly in 6th grade, came into the Chinese restaurant where I worked a few years later and I crushed her fortune cookie when I put it in the bag. 3. School bully showed up to my work once to turn in an application. It was a cool, higher paying job for teenagers. He asked me why I was there and I told him I worked there. His attitude changed and he begged me to put in a good word for him. I said, "Oh sure thing." I walked in, went to my manager's office and told him, "So and so just applied. Please don't hire him." He bullied myself and others relentlessly. My manager crumpled up his app and threw it away. 4. When I was a child I was beaten quite often. To get back at my dad, I'd scrub the toilet with his toothbrush. When my dad used it, he caught a bacterial infection that made all of his teeth fall out. 5. I ran a painting company in college and did a lot of work in my own neighborhood. After completing most of the job, the neighbor called me and refused to pay it all unless the price was dropped. I explained that the only person he would be hurting would be me as everyone else is still entitled to the money they worked for. The neighbor still demanded a price cut which resulted in me paying to do the job. Shame he didn't get the color approved by the neighborhood HOA. One anonymous complaint later and the neighbor had to pay to repaint it. 6. When I was 17, I worked at Pizza Hut and was allowed to bring home meals. Every so often my sister would call and ask for a personal pan. I would find new ways to hide jalapenos in it whenever she was being annoying. She started getting good and would search for it. Some days I did nothing to it and she'd still take it apart to make sure there wasn't a jalapeno in it. At one point I hid it inside the crust. Unless she tore it apart she'd never find it. We were 2 years apart in age and she was a little a-hole in high school, so it was my best version of revenge. 7. Once, when I worked in a very competitive office, I noticed that a coworker always took credit for my ideas. So I started sending him fake and meaningless proposals while he saved the good ones to present directly to our boss. Before long, his reputation plummeted and I was promoted. It was a calculating act, but I felt it was the only way to ensure my work was recognized. 8. I only took the trash out last night because I didn't want my fiancé to find the bag of the good lunch I had without him.